May. A month caught between spring and summer. The air was thick with the scent of blooming flowers. While the mountains stood lush and green, the sun began to shine warmly, filling the sky with its radiance. Underneath a deep blue sky, fluffy white clouds drifted lazily. On the mountain, the bamboo forest stood tall and straight, as if pointing to the distant azure sky. Wild grass grew thickly, with small, colorful wildflowers dotting the underbrush. A gentle breeze blew, causing the grass to sway and filling the air with the sweet scents of pollen and green foliage. On the hillside lay vast terraced fields, tier after tier, stretching as far as the eye could see. The young barley plants were a pale green, creating a vibrant sea of green when viewed from afar. In the terraces, many farmers were hard at work. Some were clearing irrigation ditches. Others were planting rice, their pants rolled up as they stood knee-deep in muddy water. These farmers, however, were not of the prestigious Guu clan. Members of the Guu family had no need to tend to such menial tasks. Ding-ling-ling. The faint sound of bells could be heard in the spring breeze. The farmers straightened up, turning to look down the mountain path. A colorful caravan slowly emerged around the bend, like a vibrant snake slithering through the hills. It's the merchant caravan. Yes, it's already May, they should be here by now. The adults exchanged knowing glances, while the children, who had been playing by the stream or in the mud, ran excitedly toward the caravan. The southern border boasted the grand 10,000 mountains, and Green Bamboo Mountain was just one of them. Each mountain had its own village, with people bonded by blood and family ties. Between mountains lay deep, dark forests and towering cliffs. The treacherous terrain was filled with ferocious beasts and mysterious creatures. Ordinary people could barely navigate it. Only those with at least 3 ranks in Gu Master Cultivation could traverse such perilous paths. Due to these challenges, trade was difficult, and the economy was limited. The primary method of trade was through merchant caravans. Only by forming these large caravans, with ranks of Gu masters traveling in groups, could they support each other along the journey, braving the treacherous path from one mountain to another. When the caravan arrived, it was as if a boiling pot of water had suddenly been poured over the peaceful Green Bamboo Mountain. It's usually in April that they come, but this year they arrived in May. At least they're finally here. The innkeeper sighed with relief upon hearing the news. Business at the inn had been slow this month, and he relied on the caravan's arrival to earn his yearly income. In addition to the inn, the tavern's business would also pick up with the arrival of the caravan. The caravan made its way into Guu village, led by a giant yellow gold toad with bronze accents. The toad stood over 2 meters tall, with thick, dappled skin and a stout, sturdy body, resembling the ancient door studs of a grand city gate. Tied securely to the toad's back with thick ropes was a massive pile of goods, forming a bulging sack across its back. Atop the toad's head sat a middle-aged man with a pockmarked face, plump with a round belly, his eyes crinkling into slits as he greeted the Guu villagers around him. This was Gu Fu, a 4th-ranked Gu master and the leader of this caravan. As the toad hopped forward, Gu Fu sat steadily on its head, reaching heights level with the second-story windows. Even on the ground, it was taller than most of the bamboo hut's first floors. The wide main road now seemed narrower as the giant toad squeezed between the bamboo houses. After the toad came a large, plump worm. Its eyes were like colorful glass windows, and it stretched over 15 meters, resembling a silkworm. Its exterior was covered in thick, black armor, with bundles of goods tied down with ropes. Between the goods sat Gu masters, some older, others younger. There were also strong mortals walking alongside, keeping pace with the slow, armored bug. Behind the bug, there was a vibrant peacock, a hairy mountain spider, and even a winged snake gliding through the air. But most of the caravan was composed of toads, resembling the yellow gold toad in shape but smaller, with the size of oxen and horses. Laden with goods and riders, they moved steadily forward. The caravan wound its way into the village, like a colorful serpent slipping into its den. Along the way, children's eyes widened with curiosity as they watched, laughing and shouting in awe. Second-story windows popped open one by one, with villagers peering out to watch the lively procession, some greeting warmly, others watching with cautious respect. Brother Gu, you're a bit late this year. I see. It must have been a challenging journey. Gu Bo, the village chief, stepped forward to welcome the caravan leader in person. Gu Fu was a 4th-rank Gu master, so it would have been rude to let a mere 3rd-rank elder handle the greeting. Gu Fu clasped his hands in respect and sighed. It was a difficult journey. We ran into a swarm of blood-sucking bats and lost some good people. Later, we encountered a thick mountain fog and dared not proceed. That's why we were delayed. Sorry to have kept you waiting. His tone was humble and courteous. Green Bamboo Mountain depended on the caravan's annual visit for trade, and the caravan, in turn, relied on a smooth relationship for business. Haha, it's all good as long as you've arrived safely. Come, we've prepared food and wine to welcome you, Gu Bo said. Extending his hand in invitation, the deeper he ventured, the more vibrant and prosperous the atmosphere became. The smaller stalls were thinning out, replaced by large tents. The tents displayed various vibrant colors: red, blue, yellow, and green. Some resembled domed structures, others had cylindrical shapes. A few had red lanterns hanging at their entrances, while others were dimly lit or shone brightly from within. Fang Yuan walked slowly, observing the area, and eventually stopped in front of a gray-colored tent. This is the place. He raised his eyes, studying the tent. At the entrance stood 2 iron pillars, each carved with couplets using a special engraving technique. The left pillar read, "Fortune favors the brave, with prosperity through all seasons." The right pillar read, "Seize your chance, and riches will follow." Above the entrance hung a plaque, "When luck strikes." This was a gambling den. The tent occupied a sizable plot, classifying it as a large establishment. Fang Yuan stepped inside. The interior was arranged with 3 rows of counters, each displaying various stones, some amber-like, others fossilized. They varied in size, from small stones that fit in the palm to larger rocks the size of wash basins. The largest stones, standing over a person's height, were placed directly on the ground. Unlike the lively atmosphere in other tents, this place was quiet. Small groups of Gu masters gathered around the counters, examining the stones. Some inspected the stones on display with utmost care, rubbing their hands over the surface to feel the texture. Some whispered to their companions, while others negotiated prices with the attendants. Regardless of their conversations, everyone kept their voices low, ensuring they didn't disturb others. This was a stone gambling house. In this world of Gu, countless unique creatures existed, each needing its specific food source. Without it, a Gu worm could only survive for a limited time before dying. But nature, while harsh, also offered mercy. Some Gu worms could enter a state of hibernation when their food source was scarce, sealing themselves to preserve life. For instance, if the moonlight Gu lacked moon orchid petals, it would seal itself, retracting its energy and falling into a deep sleep. Over time, its body would lose its luminous blue color, gradually transforming into a clear crystal-like fossil covered by a thick stone shell. Eventually, this hardened outer layer would form a rugged rock. Similarly, the wine Gu, when sealed, would curl into a cocoon, hiding within a silk-like casing to hibernate. These hibernating stones, or sleeping stones, could fetch a good fortune if they were discovered by a lucky Gu master. Many had dramatically changed their fate by uncovering a rare live Gu worm. These tales, true or exaggerated, often circulated within the Gu master community, inspiring dreams of fortune. This stone gambling house relied on such stories. Of course, most stones held no Gu worm at all, and even if they did, most were long dead. But on the rare occasion that someone uncovered a live Gu worm, they often earned a significant sum, or risked their life as a target for thieves. Fang Yuan understood the workings of this place. In his past life, he had worked for a caravan and even served as a shop assistant in a stone gambling establishment. Later, he ran his own gambling den, larger than this one, a medium-sized establishment, scamming countless gamblers and occasionally witnessing others score valuable Gu worms. He stood at the entrance, scanning the room, then slowly made his way to the left counter. Behind the counter, attendants, both men and women, stood at intervals of several meters. They wore green belts around their waists, identifying them as GU masters of the first rank. Most of them low level with a few intermediates. Seeing Fang Yuan approach, the nearest female attendant, a seasoned GU master, walked over with a polite smile, speaking in a soft voice. "Young master, are you looking for any specific GU worm? Stones at this counter are 10 primeval stones each. If it's your first time, you might prefer the smaller stones on the right. They only cost 5 primeval stones each. If you're seeking a thrill, the high-tier stones at the front counter are 20 primeval stones apiece." This experienced attendant had clearly dealt with newcomers before. Observing Fang Yuan's age and his confident demeanor, she quickly pegged him as a disciple. Only GU masters could participate in stone gambling, no commoners were allowed. Most disciples, however, were just beginning their cultivation journey and usually lacked funds, making it rare for them to spend money on gambling. "I'll look around first," Fang Yuan replied flatly, nodding at her before examining the stones on the counter. In his memory, it was at this very stone gambling house, on this very counter, where, 500 years ago, someone had once struck it rich by purchasing a purple gold stone with just 10 primeval stones. The gamble had revealed a live earth-burrowing toad. The lucky winner had sold the toad for a handsome sum, earning a sizable profit. Fang Yuan scanned the counter, his brows furrowing slightly. Over 20 purple gold stones lay on the counter, each glimmering with a slight sheen. But which one of them held the hibernating earth-burrowing toad? At 10 primeval stones apiece, Fang Yuan could afford to buy 9 stones at most. But realistically, he knew he had to leave some funds for essentials and GU worm upkeep. His final budget allowed him to buy only 7 stones. This one, he thought, too flat and round to conceal a toad. This one is too small to hold anything significant. This one has a glossy finish, which doesn't match the rough texture I remember. Fang Yuan meticulously examined each stone, narrowing down his choices. Through years of experience and a gambler's intuition, he filtered out 6 purple gold stones that seemed most likely to contain the dormant earth-burrowing toad. He was almost certain one of these stones contained the precious toad, waiting within its rocky shell. "I'd like to buy a few stones." Having selected his targets, Fang Yuan spoke to the female GU master. A novice, the thought immediately crossed her mind. Even seasoned gamblers would first examine a stone carefully, holding it in their hands, feeling its weight and texture, assessing the stone's exterior with a discerning touch. Only if a stone felt right would they consider buying it. But Fang Yuan, without hesitation, simply announced his purchase. Such behavior could only mean he was a first-time stone gambler. While the female GU master thought this, her expression remained unchanged. She smiled warmly and asked in a gentle voice, "Which one would you like, young master?" Fang Yuan pointed. "This one." She immediately retrieved it. He pointed again. "And this one?" The woman raised an eyebrow, surprised that the boy bought 2 stones at once. It seems he's one of those with quite a bit of luck on their side, she thought to herself. But Fang Yuan wasn't finished. "And that one, and this one, I'll take them all." The female GU master's eyes widened in surprise as she re-evaluated him. This ordinary-looking young man must come from a wealthy family background. Otherwise, where would a young GU master find such spare money? With that thought, her smile grew even warmer, and her gaze softened. But Fang Yuan surprised her yet again, pointing to 2 stones further away. "Oh, and those 2 as well." The female GU master was now taken aback. Who is this rich kid from the GUU mountain clan? Could he be from a prominent family branch? If she could align herself with someone like him, she might no longer need to work tirelessly as an attendant in a gambling house. With this thought, her smile became even more affectionate, and her gaze toward Fang Yuan carried a trace of charm. 6 stones were placed before Fang Yuan. Without hesitation, he produced 60 primeval stones, handing them to the female GU master. His decisive action quickly drew the attention of other GU masters in the tent. Someone's actually gambling. We've been eyeing those stones for hours without daring to buy. Now someone's finally taking a chance. Let's see how it goes. It's just a disciple, but he pulled out 60 primeval stones like it was nothing. What a reckless kid. HMPH. Does he think gambling is that simple? Today, He'll learn the hard way. The onlookers murmured among themselves, their attention fully on Fang Yuan. Would the young master like to open the stones here? We offer a free stone cutting service. The female GU master suggested gently, her eyes glimmering with anticipation. Fang Yuan scanned the surroundings and smirked. He waved a hand, declining. My luck is my own to test. This is my first time gambling on stones, and I'd like to do it myself. The female GU master's eyes sparkled, thinking, such confidence, he's definitely from a wealthy family. Little did she know, Fang Yuan was virtually unknown in the GUU mountain clan. He was as rootless as a duckweed, with no connections or support, relying solely on his own efforts. So full of himself just because he's rich. Probably some spoiled brat wasting his family's hard-earned money. Such arrogance, relying on luck to choose stones? That's like throwing money into water just to watch the splash. The other GU masters' initial interest faded, and they quickly wrote Fang Yuan off as just another rich kid wasting his money. Their expectations plummeted, and some even turned away, refocusing on the stones on display. The reactions around him didn't affect Fang Yuan at all. Keeping his composure, he quietly focused his primeval essence on the moonlight GU in his right hand. A soft, moonlit blue glow spread from the palm of his hand as he picked up a purple gold stone and began to rub it. The blue glow pulsed, and under Fang Yuan's steady pressure, the stone grew smaller and smaller. A fine layer of stone dust trickled through his fingers, gathering on the mat below. Well done, young master. The female GU master seized the moment to praise him. The onlookers watched, intrigued by his skill. Not a bad start, they thought, gaining a new level of respect for Fang Yuan. The blue glow from Fang Yuan's moonlight GU dissolved the stone surface, a refined technique that typically took GU masters years of practice to master. Given Fang Yuan's age, his proficiency was impressive. Look, he's using our clan's unique moonlight GU, someone pointed out, making the GUU clan members feel a sense of pride. Though for stone gambling, it's still a rough technique, a few experienced GU masters muttered, shaking their heads. The purple gold stone shrank further, from the size of his palm to a clenched fist, until it was encased in his fingertips. The moonlight GU's light grew brighter as Fang Yuan whittled it down to the size of a marble. Eventually, only a pile of stone dust remained on the mat before him. It was an ordinary stone, with no GU worm inside. As expected, there's nothing. The GU masters shook their heads. Young master, you still have 5 more stones. The female GU master encouraged, her voice gentle and soothing. Fang Yuan's face remained calm as he picked up the second stone. But this one, too, proved to be an ordinary stone. Then the third, it, too, held nothing. Some of the GU masters watching grew impatient. Stop wasting time. A stone chosen purely by luck is hardly worth gambling on. If he pulls a rare GU, I'll eat every grain of stone dust here. Someone muttered with a smirk. Don't be discouraged, young master. The female GU master said sweetly. There are still 3 stones left. You've only tried half. Fang Yuan picked up the 4th stone, grinding it down. When it reached the size of his palm, he suddenly paused. Something's there. The stone's texture changed. It's black instead of purple gold. Could he actually be lucky enough to pull something valuable? The surrounding GU masters murmured in excitement. Please be careful, young master. Hibernating GU worms are very fragile. Excessive force could harm the worm inside. The female GU master cautioned, visibly surprised by the unexpected turn of events. Fang Yuan slowed down, carefully working on the stone. Black dust fell away, the stone shrinking as his hands moved with utmost care. Stone powder piled up around him as he continued, revealing more of the dark core. Just a stone within a stone, nothing special after all. What a waste of excitement. Thought it might have been a real GU worm. Didn't I say so? Gambling on stones is rarely profitable. Most of them hold nothing at all. Otherwise, how would the gambling house make any money? You've actually been quite lucky. Young master, a stone within a stone is rare enough. Most people don't get that close. The female GU master offered, subtly preparing him for another likely disappointment. Fang Yuan merely chuckled, saying nothing as he continued. He picked up the 5th stone. This time, After only a few moments of rubbing, the purple gold surface gave way, revealing a rough golden yellow core underneath. Could it be another stone within a stone? It seems like it, but there's something odd about this one. The yellow soil within is hardened and covered by the purple gold shell. Yet its surface is rough. How could that be? The surrounding GU masters whispered in confusion. Fang Yuan's expression remained calm as he held the yellowish soil sphere. But his heart stirred slightly. He continued rubbing the stone, the blue light from his palm illuminating the soil as it turned to powder, with chunks of hardened clay falling onto the mat around his feet. Could it really be something? A few GU masters widened their eyes in amazement. Who knows? Hard to say for sure. Someone muttered uncertainly. I feel like it is. It really might be. Another whispered in excitement. As the soil sphere in Fang Yuan's hand continued to shrink, reducing to nearly the size of his palm, a voice suddenly interrupted from the tent entrance. Stop right there, kid. I want that soil sphere. Gu Jinsheng will buy it. Fang Yuan's hand paused, and suddenly, all eyes turned toward the newcomer. The man looked young, around 20 to 25 years old. He wore a long yellow robe with a silk belt tied around his waist, from which hung a jade pendant. This pendant bore a rare, one, character in its center, a clear indication of a first-ranked GU master. In his 20s and still a first-ranked GU master, he was likely of mediocre talent. Yet his status held some significance. Seeing him, the GU masters in the tent bowed and greeted him with respect. Greetings. Second young master. Second young master? He called himself Gu Jinsheng. Could he be a half-brother of Gu Fu, the caravan leader? So this gambling house must be his. But coming out here to intervene like this seems to go against the house rules. Doesn't it? The GU masters whispered among themselves. Indeed, I am the proprietor here, Gu Jinsheng said with a sneer as he approached Fang Yuan. Young man, you're quite bold to be gambling at such a young age. Aren't you afraid of your family's scolding? I'll pay you 40 primeval stones for that soil sphere. That's a generous offer, considering it's your first time gambling. It's doubtful there's any GU worm inside, but I'll let you recover some of your initial investment. 40 primeval stones? Fang Yuan arched an eyebrow, glancing at Gu Jinsheng with a smirk. It seems you're trying to strong-arm me into selling this fossilized clay ball. Are you planning to break your own house's rules just because you're here on Green Bamboo Mountain? Hoping to intimidate me, a member of the GU clan? Upon hearing Fang Yuan's words, the other GU masters shifted uneasily, suddenly rallying around Fang Yuan, their expressions turning cold as they glared at Gu Jinsheng. Gu Jinsheng had assumed that a 15-year-old like Fang Yuan would be easy to manipulate, expecting a few words would shake him. He hadn't anticipated Fang Yuan's shrewdness, who, with just one sentence, had managed to put him in a disadvantageous position. Seeing the gathering support for Fang Yuan, Gu Jinsheng's expression turned sour as he quickly changed his tone, waving his hands in denial. You've misunderstood, little brother. How could I, the owner of this gambling house, break my own rules? I was merely interested in buying the soil sphere from you for my own collection. If you don't wish to sell, that's fine, but don't say I didn't warn you if it turns out to be worthless. Ignoring Gu Jinsheng, Fang Yuan resumed grinding the soil sphere in his hand with slow, precise movements. As he worked, more blackened clay powder fell away, revealing a dormant GU worm beneath. Oh my heavens, it's really a GU worm. He's actually found one. Are you kidding me? How could he be this lucky? The tent filled with gasps of shock. The female GU master covered her mouth in disbelief, watching the scene unfold in astonishment. In her years working at various gambling houses across countless mountain villages, she'd never encountered a moment as dramatic as this. It's really a GU worm. Gu Jinsheng's eyes flashed with envy and rage, unable to hide his frustration. He had a reputation for being petty and opportunistic, relishing any chance to get something for less and hating to see others profit at his expense. He had meticulously set up this gambling house, installing hidden markers within the stones. Anytime a customer appeared close to uncovering a valuable GU worm, he would step in and attempt to buy it first. Now, right under his nose, in his own gambling house, Fang Yuan had revealed a live GU worm. It felt as though his heart was bleeding. The GU worm was a burrowing toad, about the size of Fang Yuan's palm, its yellowish body covered with bumpy skin, and its belly a pale yellow. Fang Yuan calmly infused it with his primeval essence, which flowed into the toad's body, completing the bond. The toad, roused from its deep sleep, opened its eyes and let out a soft, gentle croak, croak. Though the sound was faint, it sent a thrill through everyone present. A live GU worm held exponentially greater value than a dead one. It's alive. He found a live one. And it's an earth-burrowing toad. Incredible. This kid has unbelievable luck. He just stumbled upon this by pure chance. The tent was filled with murmurs of amazement, envy, and disbelief. Congratulations, young master. This is by far the rarest GU worm I've ever seen. The female GU master was so excited she was practically speechless, her eyes shining with admiration. This is a rare, second-rank earth-burrowing toad worth at least 500 primeval stones, someone muttered, as the crowd murmured in awe. GU Jinsheng's face was ashen, his gaze fixated on the toad with a fierce, envious glint in his eyes. For a brief moment, he was tempted to seize it, but he quickly dismissed the thought. It would be a deadly mistake to steal in the GUU clan's territory. Perhaps I could offer him a few dozen more stones and persuade him to sell it. He's only a disciple, so he might be tempted by 100 primeval stones. Why didn't I think of that earlier? GU Jinsheng's mind raced with regret. Fang Yuan held the toad with calm composure, unaffected by the envious stares around him. He glanced at GU Jinsheng and said, "The earth-burrowing toad, a rare second-rank GU worm, thrives on a diet of fertile yellow clay, making it ideal for cultivating the golden-armored toad. Its market value is around 500 primeval stones. GU Jinsheng, do you wish to buy it? You know so much?" GU Jinsheng's face twitched, struggling for words. Fang Yuan chuckled, "If you're not interested, I'll sell it to someone else. I'm sure there will be many buyers." Wait, I'll buy it. But could we negotiate the price a bit?" GU Jinsheng forced a bitter smile. Fang Yuan turned and walked away. "Don't go. I'll buy it," GU Jinsheng called out, hurrying after him. Fang Yuan had no intention of keeping the earth-burrowing toad. Although it was a second-rank GU worm, Fang Yuan was only a first-rank beginner. Feeding it would require rare yellow clay, which was hard to come by on Green Bamboo Mountain. Moreover, maintaining 3 GU worms at once would exhaust his resources, as his current savings wouldn't last. His goal was to sell the toad for 500 primeval stones, securing a solid profit. The transaction was completed swiftly. Fang Yuan transferred the earth-burrowing toad to GU Jinsheng in exchange for 5 heavy pouches. Each pouch held 100 primeval stones. With this, Fang Yuan's wealth jumped from his original 98 stones, after spending 60 on gambling, to 538 stones in total. Many GU masters watched this exchange, their eyes burning with envy. Fang Yuan pocketed the bags of stones and, carrying the last purple gold stone, walked out of the tent without a second glance. "Aren't you going to open that last stone, young master?" the female GU master called out after him. Fang Yuan didn't respond, leaving the gambling house with an air of quiet confidence. The remaining GU masters stood there in stunned silence, exchanging looks of disbelief.